during the crack epidemic, and I fled to what I perceived to be a safer suburban community. Still a city, but I felt safer. I believe that there are neighborhoods that still need significant support in some way to break through on the gun violence in the city. I'm sure you must have a vision about that too, and I would be interested to hear you share how what you've done as a legacy will impact that and what the next mayor for the city can do.
Thank you for that question. That's a question I've been dealing with the last several years about gun violence and the legal use of availability of guns. Mayor Bloomberg and I, 7 years ago, started a coalition of mayors against illegal guns. We have about 500 mayors now involved in them. And the problem out there is guns is readily available. We don't have unified laws in this country. Massachusetts has some of the toughest. You walk to New Hampshire, gun show loophole, easy to get a gun. Down south, it's very easy to get a gun. That's part of it. The other part of it is what we talked about tonight: public health, educating the young people, get them a good education. They don't turn to the world of guns and violence, and that's so important. What Barbara does in the VIP program, go out there and get the families, find out what the needs are. I guarantee you, the numbers we've surveyed over the last several years, those folks aren't in the world of violence anymore. But you have to open up the doors for them, give them opportunity. But guns are a problem in this country, and our Congress will not deal with it. We in Massachusetts, we have tough laws. I just testified last week in the State House on gun legislation. But we got to get our congressmen in Washington, not just our delegation, but the Congress throughout the country. And the president also. The president committed to doing some things during the campaign he still hasn't done. You know? But the other thing is, these kids, some of them have no hope at all. We have to get hope into their lives. And they don't understand that what death is either. They get something to turn over the next day. Death is forever. And so I just think it's a whole societal problem. It's not just public safety, it's public health, it's education, it's all of those things for the young people. Because what's happened, I've seen recently, it's not young people who are causing a lot. Just recently, the numbers of older young men and women who have guns, between the ages of 22 and 32, that number's increasing. The teenagers aren't having the guns as much as they had in the past. It's the older folks. And some of these folks are coming out of the release of incarceration. And they have no opportunity to get a job or get a new life. And so they go back to their old life. And I haven't given you the answer you want. I'm telling you all the issues that you have to deal with on this gun violence. It's about education. It's about working with them, giving them hope and opportunity for the future. That's the problem.
Another question in the back.
Thank you for visiting us here at Northeastern, Mayor Menino. I'm a recent grad here from this school, but I've been coming out in the classroom for a long time, and we're always able to have great discussions during presidential elections about what are the leverage points and sort of the fissures that upcoming candidates and future politicians are going to have in our policy advice for the president series. And I was wondering, what would be your policy advice to whatever the next mayor is? What do you think the leverage points are in public health, or a particular area where you're concerned about?
He said 15 plans is put up.
No trick questions. I really believe, I've said from day one, whoever takes the job of mayor has to understand the neighborhood, has to understand the diversity of our neighborhoods, and want to work with that diversity. That's a key component of Boston today. What else you have to roll up your sleeves. It's not about what happens at City Hall. It happens what's happening in the neighborhoods. How do you get the confidence of the neighborhoods working with you? That's important. And whatever, next mayor, I don't know who she will be, but I hope they understand that the universities are their friends, the hospitals are their friends, and become more of an advocate working with them. Because the universities and healthcare can be so helpful to you. In my 20 years, I've always worked closely with them. If you have a disagreement with them, have a disagreement inside your office. Don't go out in the streets and have a disagreement. Don't go look for the press on it. It's so important that the next mayor continues the progress of the city. Bring it to the next level. And what is the next level? I'm not gonna say it here, but there is a next level for the city. We're at a certain point, we got more people employed in the city, we got a lot of opportunities up there. But you gotta continue making opportunities for young people. You gotta make the city a city that people wanna come to. A lot of vitality. I'll just give you one perfect example of young people. Converse rubber sneakers, you know Converse sneakers? The high tops? You guys don't remember them, I think you remember high tops, remember? They're moving into where the North Washington Street Bridge is. Why they're moving to Boston? Is because they have an educated workforce here, and because the vitality, there's nightlife in the city of Boston. See, I don't believe you have to have a city make it work at 4 o'clock in the morning, bars open. I don't believe in that. That's a phony issue. That's headlines, but I don't think you have a city has to be open till 4 o'clock in the morning. If we have 2 o'clock openings, that's great. But you know, our city is a big city, but it's a small city. We have to make the city work for all the people. But I think the first thing you gotta do is, the new mayor has to get the confidence of the diverse community of Boston. That's so important. If you don't get the confidence of that community, you're not gonna be a success.
And we'll take one last question.
Hi, my name's Whitney, and I work for the state. I work for Mass Health. I'm a policy analyst for them, and I've lived in the city of Boston for 5 years. I live in Alston, and now I live in Dorchester, and it's been absolutely an incredible experience. I love living in the city of Boston as a Southern transplant, and I would like to know what some of your guiding principles are for engaging our communities. Each community in Boston is so diverse, is so unique, and none of them look the same. So what are your guiding principles for working with communities and engaging them?
Well, you have to, as mayor, be able to work. How do you work with communities? Get out there and meet with them and talk to them. Find out what the needs are. Use them as sounding board for you, and use some of their ideas in your administration. You know, don't have the young people against City Hall. Give the young people, like I have a 1 in 3 commission in the city of Boston, between the age of 20 and 34. We're the youngest city in America. So I have this group of young people come together once a month, come up with ideas for me, suggestions we can do, implement, and they have they have their social life too. They have pub crawls. I don't know what the hell that is, but I never heard of them. Just saying I'm old. We didn't have those. They have social, because when you move into the city, it's a foreign city, a different city. And how do you get to know each other? And the most important thing I think when people move into the city, how do they get involved in the city? You just don't go to their office in the morning, come home at night, and go back to the office the next day. I want them involved, because that new ideas, new energy they bring to the city makes a big, big difference. Big difference in Boston. That's why Boston's doing well, because it's such a young city today. If the youth, it's fabulous for Boston.
Well, Mayor, just in closing, thank you again. We don't know who's going to be the next mayor, but we know they're going to have a tough time filling your shoes and a tough time living up to the record that you've made for the city. And so thank you for all that you've done. Your legacy will just continue for maybe forever. And we, at the same time, we are very grateful. We'll still have you here. And we'll be all drawn, not only Ozzie Young will be visiting you, but I think we'll all be turning to you, Mayor, for continued leadership in the city. So thank you all. And